Hi, my name is Philip, and in this video I will guide you through a basic implementation of a server-side tracking solution in the context of Google Tag Manager and Bloomreach engagement. To accomplish this, we will go over the prerequisites you might want to have before starting this endeavor. We'll take a look at the theory behind tracking with the GTM in general, and lastly I will demonstrate a quick basic setup using GTM and stape.io. We need a couple of things for a basic implementation. First and foremost, not a real requirement, but the more knowledgeable you are with GTM and especially server-side tagging, the easier this will be for you. Apart from that, you will need a platform where you can deploy your GTM tagging container. This could be done natively on Google Cloud for the easiest setup or on any other cloud solution, even your custom one. You can find more information about that at Google's documentation directly. Here I will be showcasing stape.io, since it is possible to create a container there fast without registering a credit card. Lastly, you need the Exponia Analytics client, which you can download following the link on our server-side tracking documentation page. Please bear in mind that this template is not maintained by Bloomreach directly. It's built and managed by the Google Tag Manager community. To get a good understanding of what is happening behind the scenes, let's take a look at this image first. Here you can see the client-side GTM setup, which is widely used with the Exponia SDK and helps us understand the server-side setup later on. Putting this into context, we have the Exponia SDK initialized through a tag in the web container in the visiting customer's browser, as well as the Bloomreach engagement app to which the data is sent. Visualizing this, imagine we have a customer who is visiting your website. The red dot symbolizes the flow of a page visit event. After this customer has physically navigated to your website, a correctly set up Exponia SDK should register this event in the browser. Shortly later, this event is then sent to the Bloomreach engagement app so you can see it as an event in the respective customer profile. The server-side solution, on the other hand, is structured a little bit differently. This image depicts the necessary components for such an implementation. Putting these into context again, we see a new party here, the Exponia Analytics client, which serves as a man in the middle between the customer's browser and the Bloomreach engagement app. The Exponia SDK is still present on the client side to manage all the features aside from tracking, such as web layers, experiments, notifications, and so on. The communication between the SDK and the Bloomreach backend is therefore relayed through the server-side container using the aforementioned Exponia Analytics client. Taking our page visit event again, the SDK still registers the event, but now it sends this event to the given GTM container instead. There, the Exponia Analytics client claims that request and sends it to the Bloomreach engagement app. You might say it acts as client and tag in one. But enough with blunt theory. Let's see this in action. First, let's navigate to GTM and create an account. It's important to select server under target platform since we want to provide a server-side tagging container. Upon account creation, it lets us decide what method of container provisioning we want to use. As mentioned before, the automatic provisioning would be the easiest, but also requires you to add a credit card. Therefore, let's choose the manual option. After doing so, we get a string which is representing a container config. Let's copy to the clipboard for now. With that, we can move over to stape.io. Directly on the home dashboard, you have the option of creating a GTM container. This is where we need that string. Paste it in here, complement the other information and create the container. As of the making of this video, you can disable the automatic container upgrade and stick to the free plan, so keep an eye out for that. After this, we land on the container overview, from which we have to copy the tagging server URL. And this is all we need to do at stape.io, so we can move back to GTM. Let's take care of this URL first. Navigate from the admin panel into container settings and add that URL under server container URLs. We can already verify that this works by clicking on Preview from the Workspace tab. Another tab should open up, which points to the stape.io container we just created, showing the Tag Manager interface. Now let's configure the Bloomreach part, starting with the Exponia Analytics client. You can download the template from the GitHub repository, which is linked on this documentation page here. After downloading the template, under the Workspace tab, click on Templates and then on New Client Template. In the new window, select Import under the three dots in the upper right corner menu. Open the downloaded .tpl file and you should see the Exponia Analytics client before you. Save it for now and close that window. Click on Clients next. Here you can add a new client from the template we just uploaded. This is our man in the middle. And for that to work, visit the respective Bloomreach project and complement the client config with your project token and API endpoint. You can find both under your project's API settings. Save it and submit all changes to our container. The last thing to do is to grab the integration snippet of your project, tick the track page visit option for good measure, and paste it where you want to have it running. For showcasing purposes, I'm using the CJS Chrome plugin to run that snippet. One last change is required. Namely, we have to redirect the target of this SDK to our GTM container at Stape.io. Therefore, grab the container URL once more and replace the value for the target key. That's it. Now we can verify that it works. On the one hand, you can see that the Exponia Chrome plugin shows no errors and there is a value for the customer's cookie ID. On the other hand, we can investigate the GTM container. Here we should find requests coming in from our website. Last but not least, we can grab the cookie and look up the customer profile in the Bloomreach engagement app, where we should find it along with our page visit event.